In the spirit of sticking to my new creative approach, which I detailed in a previous video, I'm repurposing a salvage canvas today. The finished canvas will be a new version of a tried and true mixed media design for the summer markets I have coming up in June. I'm trying something new with the design and can't wait to see where it leads. But before adding any paper or paint to this canvas, it needs a little prep work. So let's get started. Welcome to Mixed Media Headquarters. If you're new here, I'm Donna. I started this channel to inspire and motivate people who want to create more, do so through organization tips, simple design ideas, and a behind-the-scenes look at how a working artist gets it done. To make room for this 36-inch square canvas, I need to make some space. Since my last studio tour, you may remember I had my office shelf very handy so things wouldn't pile up on my work table. But with the renovation going on downstairs for the Airbnb, I had to move that shelf along with many other things. So for now, I'm dealing with piles again. For today, I'm just going to let my desk hold everything. I'm going to try and start using this flexible space behind me while I work at my computer and let the piles hang out on my desk when I'm not working, at least until I find a better solution. Luca's eyeing the open window in my studio. He seems to be a little unsure about this open, clear path for some reason. It's okay, buddy. You can just hang there if that makes you happy. So let's go grab that canvas from the abyss that was once my utility room. This is my current reality as we are renovating our downstairs. All my friends were gutting a place that they are remodeling. I grabbed these canvases that they were going to donate, and I'm just going to repurpose them. They're not painted, they're just manufactured. I'm not painting over anyone's original signed art. I'm going to grab one and take it upstairs. Here it is. It has these raised places that I'm just going to kind of gently peel. It's like some kind of resin, medium. Try not to tear through the whole canvas. They're pretty high up, and I don't want them showing through my new paint pour sky. At the time of recording this, I don't even know if I will like working on this scale. I do know that in college I discovered I liked metalsmithing on a larger scale more than making smaller scale jewelry. You might be wondering at this point, thinking to yourself, Donna, why don't you just buy a new canvas? Why are you putting all this effort into recycling? A new canvas of this size would cost about $80. It took me about an hour to upcycle it over a couple of days while I still did other things. So overall, this was worth it to me. I don't know if I would have invested in a larger canvas at this phase of my market journey, since entry fees went up $10 per market this year, and I'm still in the early phases of selling my mixed media art. So aside from the obvious, which would be cost, this was free. I'm going to give it new life. That's the obvious, right? But aside from the obvious, this process is actually quite satisfying. Yeah, I'm getting to just hang out in my studio, listen to my singing towel guy downstairs. So it's a little noisy here because we have work going on at the house. This is just very soothing. Our house has been chaotic since we started our renovation downstairs. This is definitely an act of getting into the process. I mean, tell me that's not satisfying. I'm going to turn my video back on and lose myself for a little while. An upcycled canvas may not appeal to some collectors, but may be a selling point for others. Painters throughout history have painted over and reused canvases and salvaged just about any kind of found material that could serve as a substrate for their paintings. Let me know what you think. Does the green factor make something more or less valuable to you?
Don't worry, I'm not preaching about that today. 1,500 miles, can you imagine? 1,500 miles without an app, without an Uber, without a GPS coordinate. Very important people about it. Let's go. Notice he said, let us go. I'm gonna do this with you.
My nail polish was already a mess, but this kind of tore up my fingers. There's another factor to consider if you're thinking about doing a similar process to upcycle a canvas. So here's the difference. It's definitely flatter. So now it's ready to tighten up I'll show you how I'm going to do that. There's a lot of play in this canvas, and I can use it like this. Processes I'm going to do are probably going to tighten it up a little bit no matter what, but I'm going to spray some water on this and hit it with a hair dryer, and that should tighten up some of these stretched fibers. So let's see what happens. I'm going to spray it from the back with water, and then I'm going to hit it with the hair dryer. It's going to help if I didn't have a clogged sprayer. There it goes. Today I am up early. Sometimes I get up and work in my PJs, and that is the case today because I just had this on my mind that I want to get a coat of primer on this canvas. So far, the tightening of the canvas has not been successful with the hair dryer. So I really think that a coat of paint on the front will help get that done. So I have some mystery paint here. I know that it's acrylic, and I know that it is still good enough to get a good coat of white on this whole canvas, which I don't really need to do. Technically, I could skip this step, but I do want to kind of tighten up the canvas a little bit, and I also want to see what the surface looks like now that I painstakingly peeled all of those crazy little bumps out of it yesterday. This step feels like a good plan because someone's going to invest their hard-earned money in it, and I want it to be a piece of art that hopefully will have some value to somebody. You can see here where I pulled paint off. There's actually, you know, that's see-through right there. So yeah, I'm gonna get to painting. Even though I'll be creating a tried and true design on this canvas, I'm also getting outside of my comfort zone by working on a much larger scale. I'm also trying some new things. I'm going to spend a lot more time and put a lot more detail into the waves of this canvas. Because it's larger scale, I'll be able to do things a little differently. I'll be able to add different types of elements, and I'm really going to have fun and experiment. I'm always going to be a big fan of any process that has some guesswork and plain luck involved, which is probably why I love mixed media so much. There are a couple of higher places here that I'm considering going back to peel, just for good measure. This I'm not worried about, but that's a little bit high. I don't think my paint's going to cover that. I ended up peeling a few more high places, followed by touching up the primer. I'm excited to get to the fun part at this point, but I still took some extra time to try and improve the integrity of the canvas the best I could. So here it is, beautiful, ready to start creating. I wish I could say I nailed the first attempt at my paint pour sky. It started out looking very promising, but quickly shifted to the downward spiral. In the next video, I'll share how I chose and prepped my paint, exactly what went wrong, and how I improved my technique. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the train wreck, and so you can see if I redeem myself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. At least our towel guy nailed it. Look at the shower.